Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Margaret Okocha Obioma, and this video is the recording of the data analysis training using Excel that was facilitated by Mr. Elijah Daniel on the 18th of May 2024. Well, in this part, okay, so because of the way the training was, it was over a 3 hours class. We had to break it down into three parts. So the first part was an overview of what an interactive dashboard is, and this part we had to treat the pivot tables and filtering with pivot tables. So the next part will be the steps on or the practical aspects of getting an interactive dashboard done. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your network. Let's slide into the class. Thank you.
So this is my data set, and so now I create a sheet to analyze my data. Then I create a sheet for my dashboard. So now, when you say analyze, it simply means that I want to analyze the data because these data are much. These data are much. I want to analyze the data. I want to get my total sales, total units that was sold, total operating profits, blah 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 blah. So that at the end of the day, it all fit into my dashboard because you can't just put in all this data just like this on the dashboard. You need to analyze your data first off. So before I analyze my data, uh, so I'm going to analyze my data using pivot table. Using pivot table, like I said, I can do all these things. I can create formulas to analyze my data, but that is a long process. But I just want to use pivot table because it's kind of simple and very easy to work with. So first, let's analyze our data. So what I want to do, the first thing is to get my total sales. Let me bring in this. Sorry. Now, if you look at here, if you look at this dashboard, if you look at this dashboard, you have your total sales, you have your total units sold, you have your average price per unit, and you have your total operating profit. So we need to analyze the data so that we can have this in a sheet in our worksheet. So what I'm going to use to achieve this is using a pivot table. Using a pivot table. Okay. So analyze. So for me to create the pivot table, I click insert, pivot table from table range. Remember, I have a table, so I don't know the range of my table, so I can just click this at the top and click my data. I'll select the range of my table. I select, you can use, I've selected the top. You can use Control Shift and down button to select everything. You click up and you click OK. Great. So the first question is, what is my first indicator? total sales. Now, if you look at this is all the title of my tables. Can you see it? Retailers, retail ID, invoice dates, region, state, city, beverage brand, price per unit, unit sold, total sales, operating profit, operating margin. So what I just want to get here first to analyze the data is my total sales. Click total sales. It goes, when you click, it goes to value, or you can just click and drop down, go to values. What do I need again? I need my total units sold. Click and drop down, or you can just click your units sold. You can say that um, the date we are having the total sum of sales, total units sold. You understand? We don't need to create a formula because with pivot table, it helps you sum everything together. Then the next thing I want to do here is what can I bring to this place again? Okay, let's do average price per unit. Now, you see, when I click price per unit, I don't want price per unit. I want average price per unit. So you can edit this. Instead of sum, you can change it to average. Now, how do I do that? You see where you have your values, just scroll down and see sum price per unit. Click this drop down and click value field setting. Now, this is where you can now choose what kind of what this is where you can now choose what kind of mathematical tools you want to use, either count, average, maximum, minimum, product. If you scroll down, you can see different statistical tools you can use. But what I want to get here is the average price per unit. So I click average and I click OK, average price per unit. Then what I want here again is I want my total profits, total operating profit for the period. Yeah, total operating profit. So I have been able to do this: sum of total sales, sum of units sold, average price per unit, sum of operating profit. So I want to format this data. I want to put in a comma sign. I can just do, there are different ways. Let me just do the simple way because for those who don't really know much of shortcuts. Let's go to home. You can see this comma sign is a separator. It's a separator, and I don't want decimal number. I just want decimal number in my average price. So we have set up our first table for our dashboard. Set up a first table for our dashboard using a pivot table. So instead of me, I want to now move to the second table for our dashboard, or using a pivot table. Instead of me creating another pivot table, I will just copy and paste. Copy and paste. I copy and paste. I don't want to go through the route of going to insert pivot table again. Just copy and paste. Same data, same table. You understand? But what is going to change is the how I want my data to be analyzed. So I'm going to be switching from our current workbook to what I have done before, so that we can be able to see the input, what we really want to achieve. Now, the next table is for us to now determine the total sales by brand. Total sales by brand. This sales by beverage brand. They will now do another. We're now going to analyze our data based on sales by retailers. So now let's analyze data based on sales by beverage brand. So I'm going to do this, and for the next um, analysis, I'm going to ask question on how to go about it. So I'm going to delete all this. How do I delete? I just uncheck because I want to analyze a different data. I want to analyze a different data. So I'm going to ask myself the question, what do I need, what are the data I need based on sales by the brand of goods that was sold. So first thing I can see, beverage brand. I click. So you can see here, one thing about pivot table, it's sometimes you don't really need to do the work. When you click it, it fits into the right filters or columns, or except you want to change it, except you want something different or something unique. You understand? So that's one thing I love about pivot table. Okay, so you can see when I click beverage brand, it brings out the brand of all the products. Big Cola, Chivita, Coca-Cola, Fanta, Pepsi, Powerhawks, and Sprite. So the next thing I want to do is I want to click the total sales of all the products, total sales of all the product. You can see the sales went to value because these are values. These are not numbers. These are not text. They are values. So then the next thing I want to do is okay. Please, sorry for that. We are having light issues. So apologies for the interruption. Please. Okay. Please off the fan and on the AC. Thank you. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to be able to get the data. I want to be able to look at my data and said how much of Bicola was sold in 2022, how much of Bicola was sold in 2023. Do you understand? So I'll go back to my pivot table, and I'll I'll look for the table set where I have invoice date. Invoice date. Now this invoice date, I'll move it to columns. I'll move it to columns. I'll move it to columns. Now I don't want, now if you look at it, it has a drop down. 2022, it's going to break it down into quarters. I don't need all these things. I just want 2022 and just 2023. So what I'm doing, hello? I think someone
Hello,
mic is,
hello, sorry, Mr. Elijah.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. Please, this class link will be ending in the next 2 minutes. So please
Okay.
let's go to the next link for 4 to 5.
Okay, great, great. You can see quarter invoice dates. I'll come here and I'll click remove field. So there are different ways you can do this. Remove field, yeah, remove field. So I just want only the year invoice date on this, only the year invoice date on this. Nice. Okay, so I have analyzed my data based on total sales by brand, based on the years. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to also analyze my data based on total sales by total sales by region. Is it total sales by region? See the other indicator. Okay, sales by retailers. So total sales by retailers. So it's just the same thing I did for the total sales. So this is the, you know, so I'll just copy and I will paste, I will copy and I'll paste. And what I can just change it from my pivot table is what? I will remove the brand, I will remove the brand, and I will put what? Retailers. You have retailer ID and you have retailers. And I'll put in retailers. As simple as that. As simple as that. Because it's just the same data type, but what's changed is the brand changed to retailer. So this, remember this title, I type it, then I'm going to just type it retailers so that I know which of the data I'm working with. Okay. So now the last um, data I'm going to analyze is, which I'm going to ask question is, now I want to analyze data based on sales and, and operating margin by about sales and operating by what we can try. What are data I want to select in my, let let me show you how it looks like. This is the total sales. This is your man. This is the date. But at what date will you put on that?
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Mr. Elijah.
Hi, Margaret.
Oh, okay. I can hear you. Please, you said you were okay. You raised your hand.
Yes, Mr. Elijah asked the question, but his voice was breaking.
Oh, okay. Hello,
Can
Mr.
you hear me
Elijah. Can
now?
you hear me?
I can hear you.
Your voice is kind of
Okay,
breaking.
how
Is it possible for you
can
to
you hear me
refresh?
now?
Okay, it's better. Please, if you all can hear him now, let's
Okay, it's
use
better.
the icons. Let me know. Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Elijah. Let's proceed.
Okay,
Thank you.
great, great. I think next, thank you. This question I said, how can I now the part we want to now analyze and
Mm-mm.
things are possible to
No, sorry, Mr.
chart.
Elijah.
So
Your
I
network is
need to get
breaking.
the chart using
Hello, Mr.
my
Elijah.
table.
Hello? Your network is breaking, please. Can you refresh your
My network.
network? Yes, your voice is breaking. Can you
Oh,
just refresh?
okay, let me refresh and come back so that everybody can hear me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sorry for that. Can anybody hear me now? Patient. We pray that the network is stable. Okay, let me share my screen. Can anybody see my screen now?
Yes, we can. It's loading. It's still loading.
Okay, can you all see my screen?
Okay, yes.
Still loading.
No, we can see it now.
Okay, great. So question. Okay, so I've analyzed this data for total sales. I've analyzed one, two, three. So I'm asking a question to know if you are following. So how can I get the data for sales and operating margin in my how can I get it in my pivot table? So can anybody for me to chat? For me to get this chat. For me to get this chat. Any idea from anyone? This is total sales. This is operating margin. This is the quarters per year. Anybody, please? Anybody? Okay. Okay. Please, you can unmute and speak, please.
So we're going to select the
Okay.
sales
Let me copy.
to the values.
I'll select. Okay. I'm coming.
Sales.
Let me just remove all this we've done. Yeah. Remove field. Remove field. Okay. So I'll select sales. Okay. Total.
The sales, yes. I'm dropping on the value.
Okay.
And we have the date, the dates. Now we're going to break it down to the
So
quarter.
for the dates, I'm going to choose quarter. It is something like this,
Yes.
but it's showing only first quarter, second, third.
Yes.
Remember that we have for 2022, 2023.
Okay, so that means we have to select the year and then quarter, year and quarter.
Okay. Years, invoice dates. I think this should. Years. So I select the year invoice date for the quarter. Yeah. So when we're working on pivot table, to the arrangement matters. Now, if you notice, if you just keep the arrangement is quarter one, 2022, 2023. So what I can do here is I can rearrange it. I want the years to come before the quarter, something like this. So it should be so that it will be in order. So how will I work on the operating margin? The operating margin.
Um, I don't think I have an idea about that. I'm
Okay, so
actually
we
just
just
trying to get to my computer.
okay, just
Okay,
same
so
thing
the
with your
operating margin, yeah, okay, we have it.
yes.
Yes,
Then I'll change the
it's going
value.
to be. Okay.
It's going to be average. Average of operating margin. Sorry.
Hello.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can't see your screen. Okay, it's just
Hello, can you
loading.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay, great.
Please, if you
So
can
it's
see his
zero, so we
screen
just have
loading,
to
can you use the icon? Let's be sure you're seeing his screen.
okay.
Quadri, Nelson, please use the icon. Lanre, Victor, let's know if you're seeing. Yeah, thank you. But it's still loading.
Okay.
Nothing is showing yet.
Still loading. Is it still loading? Can everybody see my screen now?
No, we can't see it, but it just shows that you are presenting, but we can't see what you're presenting.
Let me stop and share it again.
Okay, thank you.
Stop presenting and present. What about now?
Loading. Okay. Yes, we can see your screen now. Thank you.
What about now? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
great. So what I did for the yeah, nice, thank you. For the operating margin, I just made the operating margin. We noticed when I changed it, it was zero. So I have to come back to increase the decimal point. I highlight everything and I increase the decimal analyze board with the structure of my dashboard. So before I move to the structure, do anybody have question based on the analyzing of the dashboard of the data? If you want me to continue, just put just to the structure of the dashboard.
I just want to go play with my walls. I just want to play with my walls.
Okay. Mr. Nelson have a question.
Why would he close? Why would he close?
You can unmute.
Eh?
Okay.
Thank
I
you,
see your
Mr.
thumbs up.
President.
You're welcome.
In terms of the last data we
Okay,
just analyzed,
the last,
uh,
the,
yes,
okay,
for we extract trying to catch up. You're a little bit fast.
Okay.
I know you
Okay.
copy,
Okay.
you copy the feed and you start editing it, but you're a little bit
Okay.
fast.
Okay.
So we need to get it serious, the rules and the color for the quarter. A lot of people need.
Okay. Great. 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 Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. For the feedback. Thank you, Abita, for the total sales and operating mix, because I'm still using the same table for the pivot table, so I don't need to change it. So what I just need to do is just to remove every information that I don't need. It's obvious that I don't need all this, so I just remove, and I start afresh. So that chart has, go back to the chart, so I'll explain. The chart has it has sales and operating margin by quarters. If you look at the left hand side, that is your total sales. The right has data for us to get this.